Saad.
Assalamu alaikum and hello to our viewers. I'm Saad Arif from HR Consultants. As you all know, that HR conducting live sessions during this pandemic to provide you all information regarding admissions, scholarships, and latest updates of international universities. And today we are going to discuss about Western Sydney University, one of the reputed universities in Australia, located in Sydney. And I would like to introduce my fellow colleague member, Mr. Khalid Ansari, and Gareth Lewis, Senior International Regional Manager, South Asia, Middle East, Africa of Western Sydney University. Thank you, Mr. Gareth, to take time for us. And now I request Mr. Khalid to give some information regarding Western Sydney University. Over to you, Khalid sir.
Thank you, Saad. Assalamu alaikum, guys. My name is Mohammad Khalid Ansari. I'm here to support guide you regarding the University of Western Sydney. The Western Sydney University is a high ranking university, and more than 30 years, the 30th anniversary last 2019, they've already the celebrated 30th anniversary, and they are significantly over the 30 years and currently has a 10 teaching campuses and over 48,000 students, staffs, and 180 alumni are working in the world. Education ranking the Western Sydney University the top 2% in the worldwide ranking. And now the Western Sydney partner of HR consultant, and we have been working last 26 years. Western Sydney University has a great faculties, engineering, business, IT, business, science, health science, engineering, and education factors. So today here, Mr. Garrett will guide you regarding the university's faculties, courses, intakes, available intakes, coming intake like it's January, February, and July, and September intakes, and most important things about the scholarships. So now the Garrett, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid, sir. And yeah, salam alaikum, and welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us with HR Consultants, our partners in Pakistan. My name's Gareth Lewis, and I'm, as my colleagues have said, the Senior International Regional Manager for Western Sydney University. It's very good for me to have the opportunity to talk to you. I've had the privilege of visiting Pakistan now on a number of occasions. It's unfortunate I can't be with you there at the moment, but I look forward to being able to communicate with you today, and again, hopefully in a webinar next week to talk about Western Sydney and opportunities for study and scholarship, and to experience life in Sydney and working life in Sydney with you, the listeners today. I think what I'd like to do is introduce the university a little bit. One of the key things that my colleagues have mentioned today is about our university. I think everybody can see the video footage currently at the moment on screen. Is that correct, Khalid and Saad?
Yes, we can see it.
Excellent. You can see from the video footage, which is on our website, some of the key programs that we offer and the facilities, and a kind of visual image of the university and the campuses that we have. As mentioned already, the university is a top-ranking university, top 2% of universities globally, and we have a very strong academic reputation in Australia and globally. Key programs to focus for students for Pakistan are our business programs, our engineering programs, computer science and information communication technology. Popular courses also are our health science, public health, postgraduate programs, and along with that, a whole range of other science, communication, media, clinical health, both clinical nursing, medicine degrees, psychology, and a whole range of others. And we have a top-ranking and increasing and improving rankings globally on Times Higher Education and QS ranking, along with the academic ranking of world universities. One of the key things about Western Sydney, I have to say, is our university has that ranking strength, the public status of our university in Australia, not a private college, a public university. We also offer programs that are professionally accredited. If you want to study engineering, you need to have that professional accreditation as well through Engineers Australia, part of the Washington Accord. If you're studying information communication technology, computer science, you also need to have that ACS, Australian Computer Society accreditation for your employment outcome. Accounting from CPA Australia and other accreditations attached to it. Every time we offer a course, we look for professional industry accreditation to prepare you and give you that head start when looking for a job, not only in Australia, but also internationally. So that's a key thing that our university has.
Gareth, I have a question. How much this accreditations will help out international students to get recruitment after studies in the post-study work permit?
Critical. So we organize the duration of our programs to make sure that you qualify for your post-study work visa. That means for a master's degree, a minimum of 2 years study. So you'll notice from all of the master's degrees that we offer in business, MBA, business analytics, accounting, our engineering programs, our computer science master's degrees, project management, data science, they are all 2 years duration. And where possible to have industry professional accreditation, we will find it and secure that accreditation as well. If you want to work in the IT sector in Australia, you need ACS accreditation. If you want to be a professional engineer in Australia, you need Engineers Australia accreditation. Accountants need to have CPA. Finance banking professionals need FinSIA qualifications. So regardless of the study program at Western Sydney, you will find that there's professional accreditation attached to the vast majority of our programs, allowing you that opportunity for employment.
Good.
That's critical. On top of what we do in terms of professional accreditation is incorporate within our programs, where possible, industrial experience, work integrated learning, and internship to ensure that we're preparing you for the workplace. Many students from Pakistan and many other countries, they come and study with us, they don't have work experience. So by building into our degree, incorporating within our degree program, this work integrated learning opportunity, it prepares you in advance for that working experience on your post-study work visa when you finish. So the accreditation, the ranking, the work integrated learning, internship, industrial experience, preparing you and giving you that head start when it comes to seeking employment. So we're gearing our programs to make sure that you've got the duration to qualify you for the post-study working visa. And during that time, of course, many of the programs might lead to a longer term employment opportunity, not only in Australia, but internationally as well. So that's one of the key important things that our university does to make sure that students from Pakistan are getting the right kind of degree that will lead to the employment outcome. Critical. May I talk a little bit also about our city? Just on screen, you can see the campus locations across Sydney. Sydney is a city of 5 million people. Very important when a student is making a choice of city to study in not only in Australia, but around the world. It's very important to think about some of the things available to you. On your student visa to Australia, the Australian government have generously allowed all students working rights on their student visa. This gives you an opportunity to study and work part-time simultaneously. So you can earn and study. Employment regulations in Australia mean that there are minimum wages that are really quite high, allowing you a good opportunity to look after yourself and and boost your earning so that you can live comfortably. That's an important consideration. And if you are studying and working part-time as well, it's better to be in a city where there are lots of available part-time jobs. Now, right now, there's been a few problems, of course, with COVID-19, and some of the popular employment opportunities for international students have dropped a little. But already, so this is in the retail sector, from shops or food outlets or these kind of part-time jobs that students do. But these working opportunities are already picking back up. Just last weekend, the cafes opened again, the restaurants are opening, the retail shops are opening again, and everything is moving back towards the way things were 2.5 months ago, which is good news for our students. And on top of that, the university has been doing a lot to provide a hardship fund and some allowances to enable our students to look after themselves over the last few weeks, including discounting our fees. All students in semester 1 received a 10% fee reduction and were enabled to go on a payment plan. So just going back to my point, students that are studying or working part-time, they need to be in a city where there are part-time jobs available. And I have to say, Sydney is the biggest economy in Australia. It's the biggest working community, the biggest economic environment in the country. And with that, there are lots of employment opportunities for students part-time. And on top of that, of course, when you finish your degree and graduate, professional opportunities as well. The #1 destination for employment in Australia is Sydney. So many students are thinking right now about different cities like Adelaide or Perth or maybe Brisbane or Hobart in Tasmania. Really important for you to consider your destination. Which are the cities that are economically strong? If I was coming to Pakistan to work, I'd be looking to go to Karachi or Lahore or Islamabad, where I know that there is a strong economy and working opportunity. The same thing when you come to Australia. Consider your city carefully, and Sydney presents great employment opportunities for you.
Okay, Gareth, tell me about the faculties and entry requirement of the university. Please.
Yeah, I might, if I may, Khalid, just share screen for one moment. I just got a couple of slides just detailing some of the top programs and then the entry requirements I can show you on screen just for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Let me just go on very quickly into this document here. If I may. Can you see okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
All right. Just let me take, I just want to take you down, if I may, just down into a couple of pictures of campus locations here. And yeah, top courses. So as I mentioned, the business programs, undergraduate, engineering, ICT, computer science, information systems, construction management, also a very good working opportunity afterwards in Sydney. Nursing science, med science. That gives you a kind of picture of the major faculty areas for that Pakistan students choose. Postgraduate, you can see again the postgraduate business programs there that we're offering at the moment, accreditation and again ranking. Engineering, ICT, data science, project management, health science, public health, and an interesting development, Master of Social Work qualifying. If I may just go, I'll take you through down to entry requirements here. Some students who wish to study bachelor degrees, they finish their intermediate score from high school in Pakistan. Now we take students for direct to bachelor with 80% from their intermediate. Many students in Pakistan also sit for A-level tests as well, where we require a minimum grading of 6 points from 3 A-level grades. That's 3 Ds, base score. If many students at intermediate don't quite get to 80, but if they get to 70% or 60%, they can come through onto our diploma pathway. That's year 1 of our bachelor degree. So that's the entry requirement point. And A-levels as well, if they've got 2 A-levels with 4 points or 5 points, they can come through. We also have foundation, which again is the equivalent of the final year of high school, and they go into a bachelor degree afterwards. So that's the entry requirements there. If you're looking to do a postgraduate degree, a master's study, you effectively need a bachelor degree from Pakistan. I know some students in Pakistan do a 2-year bachelor plus 2-year masters. Often that's only equivalent to the same level in Australia as a bachelor degree. But with that 2 + 2 that you've done in Pakistan, you can come through to a master's degree at Western Sydney University. So we're looking for a standard pass in your bachelor degree to enter into our master's degree. You don't have to have an elevated GPA to get into a master's degree at our university. We will accept you with your standard pass level master's score. But, and I must say English as well. Our university looks for students with an IELTS of 6.5, with a minimum 6 in each band. Or if it's a Pearson PTE academic, 58 overall with minimum 50s. You can see for foundation and diploma.
Get it? Sorry for interrupting you. I have a question. Because you know that in Pakistan currently is locked down, and most of the students aren't able to sit in IELTS because of it. So are you accepting any other online tests like Duolingo?
Yeah, we are currently just waiting for final Senate approval on IELTS indicator, the TOEFL IBT at-home version, and Duolingo. We haven't got the final approval on those, but it's highly likely that that will go ahead. So students considering their English test can opt for one of those options, but we will share, and we should know by the end of the week. But these are the programs that a lot of institutions are recognizing currently. So for most of our,
it will be great for us. Yeah.
Yeah, we will inform you and certainly have a definitive answer on that by next week. But there's still a bit of time before semester commencement.
Okay, fine.
Scholarships is the key question. Many students are interested, and I just wanted to share, if I may, a little bit of information about our scholarship program. We have them, and this is the summary of those scholarships. So students listening today, typically a 1-year study program, one year of study at Western Sydney is usually between 28,000 to 32,000, 33,000 Australian dollars. It's about 28 lakh rupee to 33 lakh rupee for 1 year of study. But we offer students with reasonable scores these scholarship offerings: 5,000 multi-year bachelor master, 7,500 multi-year bachelor master, and a 50% vice chancellor scholarship for bachelor and master. And they all depend on your GPA, the score, your academic score overall. And I just want to share with you the cutoffs from your intermediate, your A-level, or your bachelor degree, and what you need to qualify for one of our scholarships.
Okay, Garrett, I have a quick question. The 7,500 of UG scholarship only the first year only, or the whole year?
Multi-year. So, for example, a student on a $30,000 degree, 30 lakh rupee per year, who qualifies for 7,500, you will get that. So that reduces down to 22,500, roughly 23 lakh rupee. Yeah. And you get that also for the second year and the third year of your bachelor.
Fine.
And if it's master's, first year and second year of your master's as well. Multi-year scholarship, not just for year 1, years 2 and year 3 reduction.
Thank you.
The cutoffs, what score do you need in order to qualify for these scholarships? Intermediate, a high score I know, but 90% will qualify you in the 5,000 multi-year. If you've studied A-level, 3 A grade, 2 C's and 1 D, will qualify you for 5,000 multi-year. And 7.5, if you've got 2 B's and a C, that's going to qualify you, but unfortunately intermediate won't qualify there. For master's degree scholarships, Again, we're looking at ultimately your percentage from your bachelor degree. So 5,000 needs about a 65% score from your bachelor. 7,500, 75% score from bachelor. If you're doing Master of Engineering, everyone gets a scholarship. If you have passed and you qualify for engineering, everybody gets 5,000 multi-year, you can see here. So if you're a postgraduate engineering student, no problem. As long as you've passed your bachelor, a scholarship is available. And lastly, Vice Chancellor 50%. Effectively, we need A levels, 3 A grades, 3 A stars, even better, more chance for the 50%. And if it's for a master's degree, you're looking at having a very, very strong GPA. So students with the equivalent GPA of say 3.7 out of 4, and there are many quality students in Pakistan who have that high GPA, will be considered for the Vice Chancellor 50% Master's Scholarship. I hope that's reasonably clear.
So these are the tentative numbers of scholarships, except the 7,001.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gareth, I have a question. You told me about 50% scholarships for A levels, 3 A's. What about IB students?
Yeah, they would need around 36, 37 score.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Generally speaking, they would qualify for a 5,000 or 7,500, the lower levels, scoring maybe 25, 26, quite low points on the IB diploma. But if they're up in the 30s, 35, 36, 37, a Vice Chancellor scholarship, definite potential. Yep.
Good. Thank you.
So critical for students, and I know it's a real encouraging boost for students to be offered these. And we've worked very hard at the international office where I work to make sure our Vice Chancellor is aware of the importance of offering scholarships to students who deserve it with their academic strength.
Okay.
What else I would just like to add is a kind of critical bit of information about, I mentioned about employment, the opportunities in Sydney, the ranking we have, the accreditation we have, the work integrated learning, the internships that we offer. All of this leads to a good potential employment outcome in Sydney when you finish your degree. But the nice thing about Western Sydney and the difference with our university is that you don't have to pay these high inflated prices. Some universities charging 45 lakh rupee for 1 year of study. This is just incredible amount of money. And yes, they have a slightly higher ranking than us. They might be in the top 200 rather than the top 300. But I don't think it merits such a high increase in the rate of a tuition fee. Western Sydney, the point we make is that we offer good value for money. It is expensive and we understand that. It is an investment in your future. But when you're looking on average around $30,000 per year, 30 lakh rupee, and you can get a scholarship to bring that down, and we're preparing you for the workforce when you finish with your post-study work visa, and we're in a city where there are jobs, it makes a big difference, I think, to your prospects long-term. You don't have to pay that really high price to get a very good quality education, an opportunity to work in Sydney, to be in a city where there's that potential for employment.
Gareth, we normally receive lots of queries regarding this when we are counseling a student for the studying in Sydney. So what are the key areas or key courses which have good employability ratio in Sydney?
Yeah, let me again, I just want to quickly share screen because if I may just go back to that slides. I just want to take you down, just down to a couple of slides later on for employment. Just, I'll take you here. I'll just share this. A little bit of information about our third biggest economy in Australia is the Western Sydney region. This is some of the things that we do for our careers, offering students support, guidance, assistance in finding not only part-time jobs, but full-time professional jobs as well. So Career Hub, our Office of Employability, we've been also putting, you can see up on the top left, our careers Facebook page, showcasing part-time jobs for students. But if I take you through some of the, these are job websites in Australia. I encourage students to have a look on adzuna.com.au. Put in the job they're interested in, and then put in Australia, and you can see what's happening. This is a page that I downloaded only the other day. 2,125 accounting jobs in Australia advertised right now. Note the salaries on the right and the locations. New South Wales has more than 33%. That's Sydney has more than 33% of these accounting jobs. And when you go down to other states like Adelaide, South Australia, Western Australia, it drops down much lower in terms of job availability. So accountants quite strong. Banking jobs. There's lots of available banking jobs, 2,500 jobs advertised only yesterday. Note as well, in Sydney, 1,270 of those jobs are in Sydney. That's 50% of the banking jobs in Australia are in Sydney.
It's a huge difference, yeah.
Totally. So you may wish to be thinking about regional Australia. Adelaide has only 68 of these jobs. If I was looking for a job in banking, I know where I'd rather be. Consider that. This is another great job to be looking at right now, business analyst. If you're studying a Master's of Business Analytics, something along those lines, 811 jobs advertised yesterday. Again, 315 of those in Sydney, Australia. That's just under, what, around 40% of the jobs available in our city. And again, the other states have a much lower. Perth, 31 jobs. Adelaide, only 12 jobs in business analyst jobs. Sydney is where the jobs are. Western Sydney is where you get nice low-level cost of living, a reasonably priced master's or bachelor degree, and a city with a wealth of opportunity for employment. So please make that consideration. So these are just some of the jobs. Engineering also, civil engineer, 1,283 jobs. And no guessing, no prizes for guessing where most of these civil engineering jobs are. New South Wales, Sydney, 481. That's more than 1/3 of all the civil engineering jobs in Australia are in Sydney. If you want to go to Adelaide for civil engineering, you're looking at 30 jobs. I know if I was a civil engineer, I know which city I would prefer to be in. So please, I encourage students to do their research, find out not only about the university, but also the opportunity for employment that exists there. Some regional areas of Australia seem quite attractive at the moment, with an extra year of working visa, an extra opportunity to score some PR points or whatever the students are looking at. But you've got to find a job. And it's very, very difficult, much more difficult in regional areas. So make your choice, but consider all the aspects of it, and think about Sydney as a good destination for employment, regardless of the occupation you're doing. Adzuna.com.au. I encourage your listeners to check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's precious information you shared with us regarding the job prospects in Sydney, because we normally know about the in terms of civil engineering jobs, but it's a great city to have accommodate civil engineers over there. So it's a great website to search about the job prospects in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for very good information. Please let me know about the the current situation, the pandemic situation. So the July intake comes after the 1 month left. So what will be your suggestion to start the either they start for the online session classes. So student, how will start the classes through online? Either how many subject then they will take during the online virtual classes? Please explain.
Sure. Yeah, we two things, two parts to the answer. Number one, I have to say Australia has done very, very, very well with this pandemic COVID-19 situation. Less than 100 people, unfortunately, have passed with this, but it's a very, very low level of community infection. So we have made lots of measures to make sure that Australia has coped with the situation very well. Things right now, as of this week, are moving back to the way they were before. I mentioned about the cafes opening, the restaurants, and people going back to the workplace. But we're doing it quite slowly. But things are looking up already. This is only, 8, 9 weeks, 10 weeks into it. So that's a positive piece of news. The Prime Minister of Australia has mentioned a 3-stage process to recovery. And in stage 3, one particular itemized comment was about international students returning to Australia. This is great news for us. And I suspect that we'll be moving to phase 3 probably by July, August. But of course, it means that for semester 2, 2020, we'll be teaching online. There will be a full program of online available study. So the current international students will continue their study as normal, but in that online virtual space. The great news for those students in 2020 is that we've got these platforms like Zoom, Blackboard, a whole range of other virtual software. And it's such a fantastic way for students to be able to continue their study. I've sat in on some of the lectures and the tutorials, and look, it's not 100% like it is face-to-face, but you know what, it's pretty good. And we've had lots of students comment positively about the experience. They don't have to travel to campus, spend money on the train. They don't have to waste time. They can live in the comfort of their own home and study. There actually are some advantages. And this is part 2 of my answer. We're moving towards a scenario so students in Pakistan can get started in July, in semester 2, in their programs, should they wish to do so. We're offering a 2-subject start, not 4. So it means that students are able to commence, not waste time, not create a gap in their study, which could be a problem later for visa. So 2 subjects is possible. And not only are we only going to request a 2-subject commencement fee, but we're going to reduce the cost to all of our students by 10%. They might qualify for a scholarship on top of that, but it will be a 2-subject start if they want, and that the fee for those 2 subjects will be reduced by 10% as well. If the academic standard is high, they will also get a scholarship on top. So a pretty good value opportunity. There's a 5-hour time difference. The students will be able to study at a reasonable time. And we're using all of these platforms, the virtual platforms. So that's the offering to our students. Now, if a visa refusal happens or some problems happen later, or if after a few weeks they decide they don't like it, we will offer a full refund. So it's a kind of contingency, a kind of try it before you buy it in a sense. But we will ask for the money, the tuition fee to start, but at a much reduced rate. So that's the offering from Western Sydney to our students in Pakistan.
So there is a limited time duration for the refund, or the student can apply for the, you can apply after 2-3 months of the online classes?
Yeah, we'll do an extended census period. So if there are any students might find they have some sort of internet connection at home problem, or there's an issue that as long as they let us know within that census period, it usually goes on for a month or so, 5 weeks, they can let us know, and we can of course do the refund. Or and more seriously, the students committed, they've studied those 2 subjects, and then they apply for their visa, and for whatever reason, the immigration office have a problem, we will refund the fees. But the student will still get their statement there of the testament with the subject studied on it. So that's the offering that Western Sydney is making for that.
Gareth, tell us about the on-campus life of the student. What are the facilities they can avail during the studies in Western Sydney University? And kindly explain us about the campuses of Western Sydney in the.
Sure. Look, I think with the video playing in the background, the students listening today have had quite a good window on what our campuses look like, what our learning spaces look like, the facilities we offer, cutting edge, whether it be, robotics laboratories, science labs, library space that you're looking at now, the nursing facilities, clinical health facilities that we offer, whether it be as well the accommodation, which I have to add is an important aspect to a student's time in Australia. All of our campuses have on-campus accommodation. And we're looking at approximately starting rates at our most expensive campus at Parramatta are around about $230 per week, which is very reasonable. You compare us to other universities, you're looking at $350, $400 a week for campus accommodation. We don't charge that. $230 a week. And students in the western suburbs can also benefit around our campuses from the private accommodation in apartments for much, much less than $200. You see advertisements all the time for $150, $140, $160 maybe. And if you're sharing a room, it might even be less than $100 a week. In Sydney, it's not bad at all when you consider your working opportunity. Student life, clubs, societies. We have a lot of Pakistani students. We have approximately 80 to 100 Pakistan students starting every year, commencing on a whole range of programs at Western Sydney. There's a little community there, a big WhatsApp group for the Pakistan students, which is great for them, so they can connect with each other. But beyond that, I think there's over 150 clubs and societies that the students can join and participate in. Some of them are fantastic. One of them is our solar car project team, where students come from marketing, engineering, industrial design, and they all work together on this solar car project that races in the United States, that races in Australia. The last time we raced in the Nevada desert with that solar car team, we won. We beat MIT, a bunch of students from a student club. Fantastic opportunity. And all of this is there for the students to just get involved with and engage. So usually you find students mixing together in these clubs or societies. Very often it's through the community groups that they form. And of course we have 48,000 students at Western Sydney. It's one of the biggest in Australia. But you know what? Only about 6,800 internationals. It's about 15% international, but very multicultural. The Australian students are from all over the world. Their families came here 20 years ago, 50 years ago. So it's a very eclectic, culturally diverse mix of students. So you come on campus, you think everyone's international. But actually, most people are from, just second generation families from all over the world. So students feel comfortable, welcome, and Sydney's a beautiful city to be in.
Yeah, I just want to know about the industrial links. Is Western Sydney have some industrial links with the employers in Sydney or in Australia?
Yeah, one of what we do with engineering, with business, all the programs where we're offering an industrial experience or an internship. Of course, we forge many links with private business, public corporations to give our students these opportunities for working. Many of these experiences are compulsory for the degree. I might just share screen one more time. and just show you one slide. This is an interesting relationship we have. I'll just take you back up here. This is PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the big accounting consulting firms globally.
Yeah.
Our campus in Parramatta City, this is the center of the Greater Sydney region. The CBD, the Central Business District of Sydney, is about a 25-minute train ride away from where our campus is. But Parramatta is now a new urban commercial heartland of Sydney. It's like the second city center. A bit like, I don't know, when you've got Islamabad and Rawalpindi, you know, they're neighboring, but there's two sort of commercial centers. Parramatta's like that. So all the big corporates have moved to Parramatta. And when Price Waterhouse came to Parramatta, they rented space in our campus for their business operation. So PwC live in our level 11 in our building, just on screen, you've just seen there. And what they do, they've organized what they call the Center of Excellence. So this is a relationship with Western Sydney and PricewaterhouseCoopers. They're not looking just for business students. They're looking for computer science students, a range of multidisciplinary, strong performing GPA students, both domestic and international, 50-50 mix. They're looking for talent. That's what they want. So we've partnered with them. We are the landlord, they are our tenant. And with that relationship is also this opportunity for the university to win by giving students these internship opportunities and paid casual positions. For PwC to win by securing talent from our graduate and undergraduate base. And for the students ultimately to win by getting a great opportunity on the doorstep where they study to work and study at the same time with a very, very major international corporation. So think about some of the bullets here. They've got over 80 students and I've just taken 45 more, that's 125 students in the last 12 months, 50% domestic and international. And what they're offering students are these great opportunities to do some paid casual work in some of the consulting they do or in the finance and accounting aspects. And if they're good enough, what's happening is during the post-study work visa, they're taking students on again 6 months or 1 year contracts when they finish with us. Fantastic. So that's one of the partnerships that we have currently at Western Sydney. I think a great opportunity for any students from Pakistan.
Thank you, Gareth, to give us time and give us brief information about Western Sydney University and the university strategy right now in the current pandemic. Now we are going to end this session, and I request you to give us some final comments on it.
Sure. Saad and Khalid, thank you so much for your time hosting me today here in Sydney. As the time now is nearly 9 p.m. at night, so I'm going to look forward to a nice relaxing last hour before I go to bed.
Yeah, given the time, so you know that the time from Pakistan and Australia. So thank you very much for giving the precious time with us.
Indeed.
Get it. Please carry on.
I was just going to say, for any of the listeners today, please get in touch with HR Consultants, our partners in Pakistan. They're in just about every city across the country and can provide you some excellent guidance and counseling. It's really important for students to utilize the agency, particularly for your visa application. There's some very, very important documentation required. So go along to see the HR consultant counselor, talk to them about the documents and your academic study program, and they will help you with the application to the university, and importantly, ultimately your application for your student visa to Australia. So thank you, gentlemen, and thank you to HR Consultants for their support of Western Sydney.
Thank you, Gareth. And I request all our viewers that applications are open right now. If you want to apply now for Western City University, you can send your queries on our WhatsApp numbers or call us anytime. My number is 034647473031. Or if you want to contact Mr. Khalid Ansari, his number is 034647477027. And you can submit queries on our every page on our website www.hrpakistan.org. And please like and follow our every page for latest updates regarding overseas education. Now we are signing off right now, and take care of yourself and keep social distancing and wear mask because coronavirus is not over yet. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you. Bye bye and Allah Hafiz.